Hi, I'm Jimmy Sue, and this is H2O. Welcome to H2O, your guide to boats and boating. This week, we're on the beautiful shores of Michigan's west coast. In this week's show, we're going to visit the Holland Harbor Lighthouse and talk with John Gronberg, plus visit our real Dutch village and find out how they make wooden shoes. But first, let's find out more about Michigan's west coast with Al McGeehan, mayor of the city of Holland.
Well, Michigan's west coast is not only a destination and a geographic region, but it's a marketing campaign theme that a number of West Michigan communities have embraced, and for the last 4 years we have been telling our story nationwide about Michigan's west coast, from Muskegon and Grand Haven on the north to Holland in the south. We have a great lake and lake destinations like those communities, and we have a great city, and that's the city of Grand Rapids, about 25 miles to the east of where we are here in Holland today. So from the nightlife and the culture of that great city to the wonderful downtowns and restaurants and water that we have here on the lakeshore, we think we have something that folks are looking for. A lot of folks raise their eyebrows when they hear that in the state of Michigan, that northern state with all that snow, Michigan has more registered voters than any other state in the union. And they really are blown away when they find out that there's more coastline in the state of Michigan than anywhere else in these United States of ours. That's because Michigan is a huge state. We are two different peninsulas connected back in 1957 by the Mackinac Bridge. But you know, we're standing about 160 miles northeast of Chicago. We could still, from this point, we could drive 10 hours north and west, and 10 hours from now we'd still be in the state of Michigan. It's a huge state with a lot of water. We've got not only the Lake Michigan shoreline, but we have the Lake Huron shoreline on the east, and we have all the Lake Superior shoreline in our north and our upper peninsula as well. Fishing is big, perch fishing is huge. On the coho that were brought in here, and the king salmon, the Chinook that were brought in here. When we connected the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean back in the 50s with the St. Lawrence Seaway, we brought in some non-native species and a little fish called the alewife. And that alewife, well, they didn't survive here in the freshwater, and they littered our beaches for several years. It was ugly, it wasn't good for travel and tourism, it wasn't good for those of us who lived here, until someone came up with the idea to put some salmon in that lake, and the salmon gorged themselves on the alewives, and they do so every year. So we don't have any more alewife problem, and the salmon grow to rather large size. On the days when you can't take small family vessels out onto the boat, onto the lake safely, you'll find a lot of people in Muskegon Lake, or you'll find them in Mona Lake. You'll find them in the Grand River or Macatawa or the Kalamazoo River in Saugatuck. But on those days when the water begins to lie down, we're out the channels and we're on that big lake from sunrise until long after sunset. Water skiing is huge. Pulling the water toys and the rafts and those kind of things behind the boats is a lot of fun. Fishing is fun. Of course, we have the usual tug of war and struggle between those who run power boats and those who just love to sail. And we just smile about that. There's plenty of room out here on the lake for everyone.
The 27 Party Cat ZX from Advantage Boats is part of the next generation of vessels from one of the innovators of performance boat design. This 27-foot, 4,150-pound catamaran has a seating capacity of 14, allowing you to take all your closest friends out on the H2O. Advantage offers over 30 different optional upgrades in the 27 Party Cat ZX, and every Advantage watercraft is custom built and made to order. So the features you want are the features you get. A couple of notable features of this boat include an impressive design and custom graphics that allow you to have a unique look and will be the envy of the others on the H2oh. An optional built-in blender to enjoy mixed drinks with your friends while on the shore or in a marina. A factory-installed Mercruiser stern drive engine and propulsion system allowing you to put the pedal to the metal and let this Party Cat pounce across the H2oh. The 27 Party Cat ZX offers the performance, spaciousness, and features that you need in order to bring the party to the H2oh.
Stay with us. There's more coming up on H2oh. Welcome back. Let's find out more about this Big Red Lighthouse from John Gromberg. John, can you give us a little history on Big Red?
Yes, in 1859, the settlers of Holland wanted to have boats be able to come to their port, and so they dammed up Lake Makatawa and let the water build, and quickly undammed and let a rivulet of water come out to Lake Michigan and formed the channel as we see it today. As boat traffic began to increase, they felt that a lighthouse would be a good thing. And so in 1874, the first lighthouse was built. It was a wooden structure, and it was not as you see it today. The building that you see before you is exactly the same as it was in 1956.
I've never been in a lighthouse. Can you take me for a little tour?
We'd be happy to.
Great.
As we have gone up, you will notice that there is a large maritime display that was manufactured about 10 years ago to show the maritime history of this local piece of Michigan shoreline. You will also note that a portion of this display is in a large steel room, if you will, and that steel room is actually the original coal bunker that was used to supply coal for the marine boilers that were in place until 1932. On the second floor, you'll find a large grand room with stairs leading to the tower. The light itself on the highest level is 55 feet above mean sea level, which gives it a view for approximately 15 miles, and it is called a 6-second red-white light. And so mariners are able to pick this out from as much as 15 miles away, and it's the guiding light into the city of Holland and the entrance to the harbor.
We're on a Doral Monticello. This is a 28-foot boat. This is more of a sleeper cabin type boat, isn't it?
It's in the cruiser line of boats.
Cruiser line.
What I've noticed about this boat, Kevin, first off, we're standing underneath what they call a camper top configuration. A nice cockpit configuration here, and we're standing at the helm. I can show you some of the storage space. You've got a really nice lounge seat here for somebody to just kick back and relax on a nice sunny day. And then over here in the helm station, you've got your tilt wheel, all of your gauges, your accessory panel, your breaker switches. We've got bow trim over here on this boat, and what that does is basically allow you to keep the boat level while you're underway.
Something else I noticed too, Chuck, that I really liked was this clear see-through door.
Well, it's got the clear acrylic, but also, Kevin, if you move your foot up, you know, when you're underway, people can move around and they don't want to fall down and hurt themselves. So if you lift that for me, lift it up, fold it down.
Oh, very nice.
You've got an acrylic step there where you don't have to worry about falling in any holes.
Very nice. Chuck, as we sit down here, I'm noticing a lot of nice stuff in here as far as kitchen things and stereos and whatnot. Tell me what's in here.
Well, it's got a full galley. It's got a full head. Sleeping quarters. This collapses down into a bed. You've got your stereo system. You've got your flat screen TV, and you know all the accents that go with it. You know, you can sit down here and literally camp for the weekend. You plug in your shore power, and you've got your 110 electricity. Microwave,
Cooktop, refrigerator.
Exactly. You've also got hot water on this boat too.
I also noticed that there's quite a bit of space for sleeping.
Well, yeah, this whole cabin is designed to sleep 4 people, and you're probably going to go, how can you sleep 4 people here? Well, behind the stairs there is an aft cabin that'll sleep 2 people, and it's also got a really nice window you can look out on the cockpit.
You're watching H2O from Michigan's beautiful West Coast.
In this week's news ticker, we caught up with Captain Bob, who answered the questions. What are the benefits of having your captain's license, and how do you get it?
The primary benefit of getting your captain's license is the education and the safety that comes from that education. Mariner School was founded specifically to give mariners an alternative method of getting their captain's license. What I found with the majority of the schools that were out there on the marketplace, they focus on teaching a test. We do not teach the test, we teach a knowledge. We put over 15,000 students through our program in the last 6 years, and we enjoy a 98.7% success rate of our clients passing our courses. To me as the business owner, the most important thing about our success rate is the fact that our instructors have never seen the test, so they're not teaching the test, they're teaching the course. And with that said, we still have a 98.7% success rate. So we go with the safety of the education. We're approved by the Coast Guard. Any of our clients who come to our course will take the program over 3 weekends long. Once they complete the course, they take a final exam, which the Coast Guard has recognized in lieu of taking their test. We focus on recreational boaters who are looking to get a little bit more experience, and they realize that there's more that they need to learn. We're not necessarily looking for the professional, although with that said, we still teach the professionals how to get their captain's license. To get your license, you've got 4 basic requirements. You need 360 days experience on the water since you're 15. 90 of those days need to be within the last 3 years. That's an honor system. If you own your own boat, you sign off your own time. You need to be able to pass a physical and a drug test. And the physical is non-invasive, but blood pressure. You need to be able to pass a blood pressure test, which is 150/90. If you're medicated below that, that's fine, but you need to be able to pass that. Finally, you need adult CPR and first aid card from American Red Cross or Heart Association. Meet those requirements, go through our program, we'll take care of the rest.
Do you have an online option?
Yes. Mariner School is the only school out there that is approved by the Coast Guard to teach this course online. It took me 18 months and $100,000 to provide this service to our clients. Once the Coast Guard evaluated the program, they determined that we were now going to be offering a superior service, and they gave us the approval. So we're now the only school in the country that's approved by Coast Guard to teach the course online. Some of the secondary benefits getting your license is that there can be some tax benefits. If you get your captain's license, you can convert your boat into a corporation. Now the costs associated with running your boat are tax deductible. You can also, many of my clients will save between 10 and 30% off their insurance because they're no longer a recreational boater, they're a licensed captain. And then hopefully there's a huge benefit of making sure that you're safer on the water because you now know the rules of the road and the other safety items that are necessary when you're out there navigating those waterways.
You're watching H2O from Michigan's beautiful West Coast.
Bob Rogers, we're on the Fingolf 46 here at the Newport Boat Show in Newport, Rhode Island. This boat's built in Finland, was delivered here this summer, and Fingolf builds 28, 33, 37, 41, and 46. I think mostly the Scandinavian construction is of a higher level than most, and they build 24 boats a year, so the boats are very much hand-built. A lot of attention to detail. The entire interior is teak and stick-built, meaning it was built to come apart, unlike a lot of production boats that are pan-built, in other words, fiberglass interiors that just come down in one piece. This boat's meant to be taken apart. You can access the bilge, you can access the overhead. It's that kind of attention to detail that sets them apart. Primarily, they're designed a performance cruiser, in other words, designed to be a comfortable cruising boat that sails. It's a fast sailing boat, seaworthy. It's a blue water boat. You know, anybody with experience sailing can certainly handle one of these. I mean, the performance aspect is not something to be shied away from. It just means the boat's you know, a fast boat. In Fingolf, with Fingolf yachts, there's probably what I find is there are dozens of little things that all add up that Fingolf might do 5 or 10% better or 50% better than another builder, and those things include you know, finishing off behind the scenes. The entire inside of the hull and house are sanded, faired, and top coated, meaning coated rather than being raw fiberglass. The hulls, when they're molded, hulls and decks spend a minimum of a month in the molds before they're popped. The bulkheads are put in while they're in the mold, so it's a very stiff hull that comes out rather than a wobbly, creaky hull that you get out of a fast production company that's turning out a boat a day. They've started in 1981 with, again, performance cruising boats and have been doing the same thing ever since. Well, if you order a Fingolf, generally our clients take the trip to Finland, sit down with the designer of the boat and the builder. And there are a lot of personal changes that they want to make, customizations that, you know, for instance, a different cabin layout or different materials down below, something that makes the boat their boat.
A visit to a true Dutch village next. Stay with us. We're at Nelis's Dutch Village, one of Michigan's landmarks. It's truly like taking a trip to Holland. Let's go take a look. At the Dutch Village, they have lots of quaint little shops and eateries, and they have rides and little shows for the children. Okay, you know my passion for shoes. So when they told me I was going to get to try on a pair of wooden shoes, I just couldn't wait. That's enough. Let's get in there. We're talking with Marvin of the Wooden Shoe Shop, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the wooden shoes. So Marvin, why wood?
Well, wooden shoes were used in the Netherlands because, of course, it's safety, because they're safe against big animals or big cows. And the second thing is they were cheap, so it was just a piece of wood that you needed to make a wooden shoe. And the other thing is, Holland is 8 feet below sea level, so if you live in Holland, the land is very muddy and wet. And if we would wear leather shoes, the leather would easily rot because, yeah, it gets wet and dry all the time. It's all done by hand, yeah. Wow. It would take 2.5 hours to make a pair of shoes by hand. Like this one. This is the inside of the shoe. This is how it will be. And then of course you have to wear a lot of socks because yeah, it's not really comfortable to wear wooden shoes.
I'm with Chuck Seeley of Paradigm Boats in Marathon, Florida. Chuck, tell me what boat we're on.
We're on World Cat's 320 EC, and that stands for Express Cabin. The features of this boat go on, but you know, the fact that it's a power catamaran, you're riding on a cushion of air, there's no slap. You know, you can sit there and drink your glass of wine in 3 or 4 footers.
Okay.
You know, while you're cruising at 25 knots.
Draft on this boat. What does it draw?
A whole 16 inches.
16
But
inches.
that's the hull. With the motors down, you're looking at about 26, 28 inches. I can take this boat through 2 feet of water on plane. Well, the cabin is very luxurious. It's great for 2 people. You know, you could buzz to Bimini, hang out for the weekend, air conditioning, generator, flat screen TV. You know, you're living large. You got a nice cutting station here, freshwater wash down. You know, cutting board kind of sits up here.
There's water in there. There's
Well, you can put water in here. You can either put, you know, your bait. What we usually do down here is your chum, your bait, all that stinky stuff
the stinky
goes in here where you cut up. Or like if you're out on a cocktail cruise, your champagne, your strawberries, chocolate, all that kind of stuff. All right.
Okay.
Here is a nice recirculating bait well, and also can double as a cooler. You got your jump seats. So if you're, like I said, on cocktail speed, you can hang out. Otherwise, if you're fishing, you can put them up, and if you're really fishing, you can take them out.
That's all the time we have for this week's show. That was my first time in a lighthouse, and I can't wait to get back in there. Remember, every day's a great day for boating. So anchors away and let's get out on the H2O.